So welcome to part 2 of this yellow radio, which would have been in one part had the aerial not broken. If you've missed the chip, you can put that to the left of himself. It will now be in shot. The ferrite rod aerial had a broken winding.
This one?
Yes, so I'm just going to zoom in. So
it's a small winding, and I'd already soldered in the big winding with it fitted. And when I come to this wire, I thought that wire's too floppy, and it's got like a fabric coating on this one. So when I looked at it close up, it was actually broken. So what I've had to do is melt the wax away, solder it. I tried to melt the wax back with the hot air gun, but of course it unsolders it.
yes.
So I've ended up with a bit of Bostik on it, and I've left it for a day. So that's now intact. So now time to fit that.
Okay, so we'll join it when we've done that. Right folks, we're on the next stage and Mr C's put it all together, and what's he probably got? A threaded pillar.
That threaded pillar's supposed to go through that middle and go down into what I can see is it must be nut embedded.
I wonder if this hole is slightly opening up. So
I think I need to take some of that plastic off there so it's
Yeah.
round, because it's clattering on the IC socket. For
right, okay. So you've tested that with no short circuits.
Well, I've just put the batteries in. The chip's not in at the moment,
no.
So it's, you know, you can power it up without much fear. And that's already on. As you can see, the LED light.
Oh right, well that's a good
I
start.
checked the voltage is right on the socket, which is pin 3 ground, pin 13 positive.
So if you switch that off and put the IC in, then of course we will have alignment to do.
Yeah.
And it isn't going to be like one of the transistor radios.
That wire's the shortwave aerial, but we're not fitting that yet.
No, okay.
Doesn't really matter.
He also had to extend one of the antenna wires off the ferrite rod underneath because it wasn't long enough.
Well, the way it presents, you've got A, B, C, and D. So I wanted to put it in the way that is. So it'd be A, B, C, D. But I've had to put it backwards because one of the wires on the long coil didn't fit. So I've put it in that way so they fit, and then one of the wires on the short coil didn't fit. So I've had to extend it slightly, but
There we go.
no big deal. So if I think all the pins straight on this chip.
Just going to, while he does that, we'll just move this camera because he's back more than we've got the product. We did some blow-ups of diagrams as well, which are there. We put them on the scanner and did a better job. Yeah. And at least we've got them on file for when I lose them, which is invariable. I've probably said before, I've had to order another blue radio, another red radio. We'll have to remake them because I've lost the original samples. They'll be as soon as they turn up and we make the new ones, of course the originals will be found, but there we go. So you're going to get another red, and those red radios are really, really sensitive.
Put it the right way around so it won't last very long.
New chip won't be new anymore.
Of course the chip number's different to what's on the diagram.
Yeah.
Problem is with these things banging around in packaging for a while, they're now, all the legs are not bent to the right.
Yeah.
Let's see if that'll do.
So to newcomers, the chip has to be the right way round. There's a dent on it, which denotes pin 1. And pin 1 is, if you've got it looking at it upwards,
Left.
it's left. Top left. Dent left. I'm expecting some results straight away, and then we'll get the signal generator on. We'll have to do the tracking with the variable capacitor to get the stations in the right place on the dial.
This is a bit... Don't push it any further, so here we go.
Ooh,
That sounds like noise.
it does. We've got fluorescent lights and things here and all over the place. What band, do we know what band it's on?
It should be on AM at the moment.
There's only about 1.5 stations in the UK on AM. Oh, there's something.
Well, there you go, it is receiving.
So that's its start. So we'll leave it at that and then we'll come back to alignment. Hello folks, so I'm going to do this alignment now. Mr Chippie's put this yellow radio together. So it's a ZX623. We've got a blow up of the layout, which is mirror image. We've got a blow up of the circuit diagram. We've researched the chip it uses, this D7613, which shows various configurations that's used in AM and FM. But here's the thing, some of these suggestions are with a 455 IF, and some of the suggestions are with a 465 IF, and there's absolutely nothing in the instructions which says which one we've got here. So do we assume it's 465? It's not going to matter, but it would be nice to know, and there is nothing in there, and it's not like it's in Chinese. I'm just not expecting them to expect you to be kind of aligning at this level. So we're going to use an old Valve 1960s signal generator, which is behind me there, which is an advanced E2. I've not had it that long. I've probably only had it 10-12 years, and it came off eBay for £10 in working order, and there's plenty of things like that to be had. Normally we use a little white, I say little, this is a AF meter in the same series, same make, LW. They're just under £100 from China. I can't find my signal generator. I can find the AF generator. I can find that AF meter, which is what you'd, if we were being absolutely precise, we'd put it on the output of the speaker and we'd tune for maximum on that. I think we'll be just doing it by ear with this being what it is. So AM signal generator, and we use this signal generator because the big test sets I have don't go under 10 megs. So that's no good to us because we're looking at 455 kilohertz. We could use one of those little Chinese signal generators, but they don't have, the ones I've got don't have a tone. So it's useful to have a modulated tone. So we've got this on its band E, which is the 300 to 1000 and band E. So we've got it about 465, and this dial is pretty accurate. So there you go. When looking at the circuit diagram, if this was FM, we'd say that was the detector, but it's going to be the detector for AM, isn't it? I'm sure. But again, the data sheet's in Chinese. I don't think I need to do any translating. This is going to be what IF it has, T5, because it goes to the chip only. And then in the AM position, we have got T2, and we can see that it's coupled to T1. And if we follow all the wiring and that, we can see that also goes to the ferrite rod aerial. So when it's in the shortwave position, then it goes to T3, and that is ganged with T6. So it's T5 and T4 for maximum smoke off this generator, and I'll do it by ear. So we've got this on, it's been warmed up. I could look at, I'll tell you what we will do, just to be silly, we'll put my oscilloscope on, which does which can double up as a frequency counter. We'll just see what the signal generator is actually on. Well, it's on 461. We'll just turn that to 465. 465, and it says on the dial about 469, so it's very much near enough. It may not even be tunable, it may be a fixed IF on this. Because it uses a chip and not all transistor, if it was an all transistor one like we did the red one before, we'll be doing another red one because I've lost my original red one. We're going to be doing the blue, is it LB6 or something again, because I lost my blue one of them as well, so we're going to be doing them all again. So I'll turn this on, and we'll just put this in the vicinity. I'm just using a test prod. So we know from the layout that I'm looking for T5 and T4. T5 is that one, so it's mirror image, so it's that one. Well, that's the peak. And T4 that's the peak. So that's my peak with the signal generator at this stage. So now I need to turn this to, we've got two sections in the variable capacitors, we're going to have to set the tracking, because otherwise the dial's not going to correspond at all. So top of the shop, it doesn't say, but top of the shop is likely to be 1605. I'll just turn this, just take that out. So I haven't put this on yet, 1605. So absolute top of the shop. Should be 1605. So 1600. Okay, it says 1600, so we'll put 1600 on the signal generator. So we want it on, I'll just move the camera so you can see what I'm doing. So I want the signal generator now on band D, and we want it on 1.6, which isn't far off where it happens to be. 1.6. Oh, it's there. So that's 1.6. I'll just see if we can tune that in. Make sure I get myself back at the top. Seems to be about halfway down the dial. So which trimmer capacitors are going to bring that in? And I really need a yellow trimming tool. We're on Mr Chippie's bench, so there aren't always the type of tools I would use. Use the RS phosphor bronze one. So one of these is going to be, is it oscillator? Yeah, One is also going to be for tracking. And of course, none of this in the instructions. But it does tell us on the diagram, mirror image, capacitor A, capacitor B, capacitor C, capacitor D. It does tell us that. So when we look at the circuit diagram, we're doing AM, so it's capacitor D and capacitor C. Theoretically, it should be these two inner ones. There we are. Right, we'll drop the signal. So I can only just hear it. Just move the camera down so you can see what I'm adjusting. So this was the tracking. So this is the, it's going to be antenna tune, is that what they call it? That's certainly the loudest point. Let's go back to the tracking one. And then we'll look at these two. We want transformer 2 and transformer 1. So looking at this mirror image again, that's transformer 2, the red one. That was actually already spot on. And transformer 1 is where? It's the ferrite rod coil, isn't it? T1. Yeah, the ferrite rod coil. So I think we're there. We can do the opposite. We can go down the other tuning, the other end of the tuning scale. So we're right at the bottom now, and what should we have? Put our little sticky label on. It's 530 at the bottom, it says. Of course, whether or not that's true. So we'll tune the signal generator now to 530. We need to go to a different band. 530 is there. 10, 20, 30. So it should be let's put the bigger signal back on. Yeah, it's there. And the dial says what? I've got it tuned in. And the dial says it's on the upper bit of 530. So this is going very slightly lower. So yeah, that's tuned in all right. So what other cores have we got to adjust? So we've done the white one, which was T4, which is what I would say is the detector. We've done the yellow one, which is T5, which is the, what I would say is the IF. We've done the red one, which is T2, which in conjunction with the ferrite rod, that T2 is this one, the ferrite rod is T1, so it leaves T3 and T6 for short wave. And as I understand it, it's 15 meters. Does that figure? Does it sound a dial? I don't think the dial's geared up to show short wave. Oh, it is. 15 megs. 15 to 16.5 megs. So if we put 16.5 megs in the top of the signal generator, so 16.5, we want band B on this signal generator. 16.5. Make sure we're at top of the shop. And we are on band B. We've switched to the other band, and we're again loosely coupled to this yellow wire, which is what the rod antenna will be connected to. And we want this at the top of the shop. We'll see if we can dial this in. It's going to be these two trimmers. One's going to be tracking, the other's going to be antenna trimmer. Coil L, we're looking at T6 and T3, this is T6. Go to the bottom of the band, which is supposed to be 15 megs. Megs, band B. I'm not hearing anything. There, isn't it? Needs to be lower than that. It's not that one. Right, I want it lower than that, so we'll move it further down. So we'll move it further down. It's not going going to go further than that. Let's just bring it back a bit. See if we can move it a tiny bit further down. That's as low as it wants to be. Let's see if we can adjust the other one. Go back to the full signal. Move that further away. Well, that seems to repeat. And more or less where we want it to be. Battery contact's not good. I'm going to turn the signal generator off and see if we can connect the rod antenna. We can't quite put it together, we haven't got the... What haven't we got? Yeah, this hole's not quite in the wrong place. So what's happening is this is hexagon and it's catching on the chip, so I don't know whether we're going to kind of file a bit off. That's one way. Have we got a file on here? Right, we'll have a last glimpse before I put the lid on and before we glue this on. Oh, it's got adhesive tape by the looks of it. There, that's come straight off, so we'll be gluing it on. That's a good isn't that wonderful? Falls off. So I've got that pillar in. Not saying that's the best contact ever. I'm going to go over it with our fiberglass brush. We just need to address this. A lot of people think straight off that this is AM FM, but it isn't. And that's why we bought it, because it's got short wave on it, for what that's worth. There we go, telescopic arrow connected. Because presumably that screw just about lines up. Feels a bit loose. Go to medium wave. We're in a dreadful area, you know, we're out in 45 miles from the east coast and in the middle of nowhere. We get 2 stations, that's one of them. And we're not going to get anything on short wave, and I don't think the fluorescent lights help in here. Well, take my words back. Well, that'll be fun at night when it's dark, because it'll all change. So there we go, it's working and it's doing it medium wave and short wave, and that's aligned and the dial's about where it should be. So there we go. The well, I was going to say come to a conclusion, know exactly what the model number is, but it's a ZX623 Chinese medium wave, as we would call it here, which they would in America say AM, and short wave. So there you go. Thanks for watching.